teams fans at ease.
Yeah. Football is it's a contact sport, so I wouldn't say I'm a spring chicken anymore. So I'm trying to just, feel as great as I can and see how it goes tomorrow.
Now, for lack of a better word, maybe it's load management, just sort of give them a little time off in practice. Here's the Patriots' 3-0 start. They've looked unbelievable, but the three teams they've beaten have yet to win a game. And according to our FPI, none of them are expected to win more than 6. And the Dolphins, of course, aren't even trying to win. So the question that I guess I have, when you look at some of the things that have happened with the Patriots, they lost their starting center before the season began. They just put their fullback, who's a valuable piece,
yes, he is.
On the injured list. He's out for the season. And obviously Antonio Brown no longer there. I think the question is, the Patriots obviously are really good. No one questions that. But are they as good as they have appeared so far?
I think so, because it's been 3 games. I understand the opponents are bad, but it wasn't like they were kind of nip and tuck with those opponents. They smashed them. They are very good. The injuries matter a lot to most teams, but they matter less to this team than any other team. We have a lot of confidence and faith in what that coaching staff can do and how smart those players are and how talented that D is. Most of the injuries we're talking about are the offense, and we all agree that the most powerful unit on this team this year is the defense.
Correct.
They don't have nearly as many injuries as they do on offense.
That has been, I think, the biggest change in this team this year is that this defense is as good as it has been in any recent year for the New England Patriots. The defense can carry this team to victories. And then on offense, you lose your starting center, David Andrews. You lose offensive lineman, and you have Dante Scarnecchia, one of the greatest offensive line coaches, who goes completely under the radar and is one of the keys to this team's success. And this team, no matter who they lose, just keeps going on. I think that this team actually may be more vulnerable than other Patriot teams, but there are other areas like the defense that make it stronger than other.
You see that stat up there on the screen? They gave up 2 non-offensive touchdowns this week to the Jets. And candidly, if that game had been 180 minutes, the Jets offense wasn't going to score a touchdown. They muffed the punt and gave up a pick 6 to Jamal Adams. So my question then becomes, how about Brady lightening the load a little bit during practice during the week? Is there anything in that? Is that interesting to you beyond the fact that it seems to make sense?
No, I think there's absolutely nothing to be alarmed by. We've watched him the first few games of the year. He looks better than ever. This guy, when you watch him on Sundays, is incredible. Like, he looks like he's getting better at the age of 42. I don't think there's an athlete in any sport outside Gordie Howe and George Blanda who have ever gotten better over time. Tom Brady does. Like, he looks as sharp as he ever has. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, on the field and off. He said he's no spring chicken, but he looks like Benjamin Button, and he's playing that way. Like, he is aging backwards, and this man is playing as well as he did when he was at his peak in certain cases, and he looks like he's aging backwards. So I think that this issue with him missing some time in practice is more about maybe we don't need to waste him here because we know he's going to be ready on Sunday.
You know who agrees? Las Vegas agrees. Put the numbers up from Caesars. I'll tell you right now, the Patriots, whatever their schedule has been, they remain the favorites to win the Super Bowl. Kansas City is just behind them. The Dallas Cowboys are the highest-rated NFC team. Okay, let's go to this. Mel Kiper has his latest big board out, and there are now 4 quarterbacks in the top 25. His first draft-eligible quarterback, bear in mind, Trevor Lawrence is not, is Alabama's Tua Tagovailoa, who's completing 78% of his passes this year. No one in history has had a higher completion percentage. The second quarterback, number 6 overall for Mel, is Oregon's Justin Herbert, who has thrown 14 touchdowns this year and has yet to throw an interception. So we knew about those 2 guys. He's now added 2 more. The first of them, 24th rated overall prospect, is Jake Fromm from Georgia. The junior improving to 27-5 as a starter with his win over number 7 Notre Dame on Saturday. And then former Bulldog Jacob Eason is the final quarterback on Mel's big board. He's thrown for at least 3 touchdowns in 3 of his 4 games thus far this year. So those are the top 4 guys on Mel's big board as far as the quarterbacks are concerned. Acho, is there any way in your mind that when it is all said and done, Tua Tagovailoa is not the first quarterback off the board next April?
Heck no, it's impossible. The only way, Greeny, is if somehow they fall in love with Herbert's 6'5" fair-skinned stature. But beyond that, that. It's impossible. I mean, Tua is just that good. And yes, he has studs around him and Jerry, Jeudy, and Ruggs. And that Alabama offense, they're on a different level. But Tua's the point guard that makes it all go. If he's not the first quarterback off the board, something went totally wrong.
So the tanking is for Tua, as many people suspect. Of the other quarterbacks that we just heard added there, Fromm and Eason, what stands out to you?
The thing that stands out to me is give me Fromm over Herbert. And Herbert is a very good quarterback. No shade on Herbert. But let's remember Fromm. He beat out Jacob Eason, who Kuiper has right behind him. Jacob Eason was the number one player. He beat out Jacob Eason his freshman year. Then remember Justin Fields, that other number one quarterback? He sent him to Ohio State because just how good he was. Fromm, you just said it, 27-5 as a starter. 60 touchdown passes to 13 interceptions on his career. Jake Fromm can run the pro-style offense. He can sit in the shotgun. There's nothing that man can't do.
I've heard so many people raving about Fromm. Are any of these guys, as you watch them right now, game changers, NFL stars that kind of can't miss, turn a franchise around kind of prospect?
I think you have Tua, and I think you have Fromm. If that's just my personal opinion, I like those two. I think Herbert is hit or miss, and remember, everybody works off stigmas and stereotypes. Marcus Mariota has not looked great coming from a similar Oregon structure. Different head coach, but has not looked great. That might hurt Herbert a little bit.
All right, we're going to ask Acho now to do his trap games. And I want to make sure you're aware that when he gives these, you need to listen. This was Acho's trap game last week. Meanwhile, with Acho, every week we ask him for some trap games.
Utah is dominant, but USC's a little mad. It's a trap game.
Fake throwing, and it's Vaughn makes the catch over the shoulder. Oh, the rush is coming. Fake escapes the rush. Now going to his right, throws downfield. Double coverage, caught! Touchdown! Amon-Ra St. Brown.
He had it right. Trap game. And Utah falls last week, knocking them and maybe their entire conference hopelessly out of the playoff chase. So we have two trap games this week from Manny Acho. It starts with Mississippi State at Auburn.
To me, Auburn, they've been balling, and rightfully so. Bo Nix has been a stud ever since he took over as a true freshman. But I'm just wondering, will he ever have a freshman moment? That Auburn defense is nasty, but like you see, Bo Nix has been great, and I've taken notice. The whole nation has taken notice. But Mississippi State, they got a freshman of their own, Garrett Schrader. He's come in and taken over for an injured quarterback, and this dude puts his body on the line. One SEC Offensive Freshman of the Week. So again, Auburn Tigers, I'm not saying you're going to lose, but if Schrader comes out there balling like the realest freshman on the field, it's a trap game.
How about one more in the Big Ten?
To me, man, this one hurts my heart, Greeny, because Penn State, I called it as a trap game when they played Pitt, and Penn State found a way to sneak out of there. I mean, look, Pitt, a couple questionable play calls that I'm still upset about. But it took Pitt to the last play of the game, and then they barely lost to Penn State. So, Penn State, they've snuck away a couple times. I'm not sure they're going to sneak away from Maryland. Why? Because Maryland just lost to Temple. Now, Maryland had been streaky. They had been good. But Maryland has been outscored the last two games against Penn State 104-6. You want to know how mad I'd be if a team had beat me 104-6? Again, Penn State, I'm not saying you're going to lose, but it's a trap game.
All right, very interesting. Up in the air, everyone thought that was fake. That's really him.
That was an embarrassment.
It was not an embarrassment. He is a sneaky good athlete. Shefty, by the way, has been on the phone the entire break. I trust we have major breaking news. Something is going to be going on. There is nothing more entertaining than Shefty on the phone. We'll see what it is in this next hour of Get Up, which comes to you live from the Seaport District at Pier 17, brought to you by Chase. And here's what we've got. We're getting up with Carson Wentz. It is not overstating the situation to call tonight at Lambeau a must-win. We'll explain why they're unlikely to pull it off. Then, Jalen Ramsey with a family having a baby as he played his last game in Jacksonville. Where does he go next and when? Shefty's got answers. And we'll tell you the absolute last thing you want to do if you're going to have any chance of slowing down the best player in the sport. All that and more in this hour of Get Up on ESPN, which starts with a huge start to Week 4. Tonight, Eagles and Packers at Lambeau Field. Slow start to the season for Aaron Rodgers. Total QBR of 48. That's on pace to be his lowest in a season as a starter. His career low came last year. So what gives? The good news for the Packers is the defense has been great. They're allowing under 12 points per game. Only the Patriots have allowed fewer, and the Packers have done it against better competition than New England has played. On the other side, the Eagles are off to a tough start. They're under 500 at this stage of the season for the first time since Doug Peterson became their coach. Last time they were 1-2. Chip Kelly was their coach. And just how important is tonight's game for the Eagles. Look at their schedule the next 6 weeks. Clearly, they'll be a heavy favorite against the Jets. But find me a game, the rest of that group there, that you expect them to win, or at minimum that you figure leans heavily in their favor. This is a must-win for the Philadelphia Eagles. And there are a variety of different ways, and I'll talk to you about it a little bit earlier. But as you watch the Eagles, you could argue they're too dry.